foot high. It's a deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bond stands alone. Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes.
Let's go,
What is up, everybody, and welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jordan. Stacks on Stacks, lads. Joined with my man, Mr. Big Ballin' Ben Larson. How we doing tonight, Ben?
Doing well, man. Finally got a weekend to watch football and watch everything that happened today. So I'm super stoked about what went down. Got to see football from 10 o'clock to till 8 o'clock here on the West Coast. So it was a good quality day. We got rain over here. We're moving into fall. It's beautiful.
Yep.
It is beautiful. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Great weekend. Obviously, USC gets the W last night against Fresno State, and they cover. And then, the Cardinals, just a miraculous win today.
Huge one, yep.
At halftime, I was just like, dude, this is nasty. This team fucking sucks. They gotta get rid of the coach. I still think they gotta get rid of Cliff Kingsbury. That's we'll get into that later. But man, what a great weekend. Vegas was absolutely popping this weekend, Ben.
Sure.
Canelo Alvarez fight versus Triple G.
Yep.
Which was a very boring fight, by the way. That fight fucking sucked. Apologies.
Crazy UFC.
I didn't watch UFC, dude. I was too busy watching college football and then the Canelo fight.
Oh my God, people getting their heads busted in like left and right. 2 guys with huge gashes on their faces.
I missed it, dude.
You pick up body slam in one of them too. It was crazy.
I missed it. I missed you. This is like one of the first weekends in a while I haven't watched any UFC. Like I didn't watch a single fight of UFC.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But man, college football is it was an unusual weekend because like a lot of favorites, like top 25 teams, like they were big favorites and they all covered basically. So it was like a chalky weekend. And then in the NFL, we had kind of like the complete opposite, which we're going to get to momentarily, but we got to talk about our beer.
Yeah. So for people who haven't listened to or, haven't listened to in a while, we like to incorporate our beer and sports together because we want to be kind of putting this out like we are sitting at a bar talking sports, drinking beer. So each podcast, we're going to have 2 beers each, and we're going to be drinking them. We're going to be talking about them, give a little background information, and then, rating them out of 5 at the end of the show. So, you can always find some of our beers on Devour. So make sure you go to Devour, use promo code Taproom when signing up and get $10 off that first purchase of $25 or more.
Yep.
My first beer is a Devour beer. And I'm super stoked about it. It's not only does it have great can art, but it's one of my new favorite types of beers. And then we want you to go out, support your local breweries, support your local bottle shops, find some different beers, give things a try that you might not have liked a few years ago, because taste buds change. Mine sure have. I know yours have.
Yep.
So we're going to start by talking about our first beers. We'll take a little bit of a break in the middle of the show. We'll talk about it 2 more, and then we'll be shooting the shit on sports in between.
Yep, absolutely, man. A lot of sports to talk about.
Yep. What's your first one?
I'm drinking a Wild Barrel Peach Prickly Pear Sour Berliner Weiss. It's with wild peach and prickly pear. Wild Barrel Brewing Company's out of San Marcos, California. I've actually had a couple of their beers before. They make like a lot of good sours. Pretty much everything I've ever had from them is a sour. So I seen this one. I had to try it. So I'm excited about this one. The color is like awesome. Looks like
Oh yeah,
guava juice.
nice.
What I mean?
Mine's
So
almost no, mine's a little more golden, but
yeah. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to taste it. Took one sip. It is like a kind of sour that I do like, that like makes me pucker and stuff. So
yeah.
I'm
What's
interested
the
to get
percentage
into
on it?
this one. 5.2, so pretty
Okay.
light, pretty light.
Pretty light. Yep. Oh yeah.
What are you sipping on though? I
Nice.
saw
So
the
I'm-
can.
Yeah, I'm going on a West Coast IPA. This is from Paperback. I've done a couple paperbacks on the show before. They're out of Glendale, California, so they're kind of down by LA area. This is coming in at 7.2%. This is a West Coast IPA. Again, a big part about beers and why I buy beers is the can art. I'm not gonna lie, and this one caught my attention, and for good reason. So this is called Saturday Night Zebras. Partying like we're back in 1979, and just seeing this, I know Paperback's a good brewery, so I wasn't too hesitant on buying it. Seeing zebras in white suits dancing on the disco floor, you got to buy it.
What's better than that?
Coming in at 7.2%. They showcase El Dorado and Cascade hops, so can't beat those two.
Hell yeah, man.
Can't beat those two. So
that's what's
see how
up.
it is.
That's what's up. Looking forward to hearing about that one, Ben.
Yep.
But we got a lot of football to talk about. A lot of NFL football, and a wild weekend it was. So let's just hop right into the first game. This was the Miami Dolphins and Baltimore Ravens. This game closed Baltimore -3.5. Over under was 42.5.
Yeah.
Is that the right over under for it? Was it 42.5? That seems awfully low.
That does seem low. Which
This is from covers.com. I think they got this game wrong because it also says that Baltimore is -10.5 and they were not -10.5.
Baltimore closed at -43.5 or at 43.5.
Wow, that's really low. Shout out to all the over bettors. Actually, I noticed a lot of overs hit today.
Yeah.
Unders were hitting like at 60% coming into the day, so that's one thing to take note of. But anyways, Baltimore closes -3.5. At one point in the fourth quarter, they were up by 21 points.
Yeah.
Miami, Tua Tagovailoa, 462 yards, 6 touchdowns, Ben.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, Baltimore's defense just went total matador defense. Like, go right ahead and score. I mean, it was nasty stuff, dude.
Yeah, 35 points in the second half.
Yeah.
28 in the fourth quarter.
Bro, this was honestly, if this Saints and Ravens, my only 2 losses of the day. That was it. Only games I lost. And this Ravens, I was so confident. When they were up a touchdown early in the first half, I took a -7.5 live because I was like, dude, they're gonna run away with this.
Yep.
I mean, if you're the Ravens, though, you didn't look that great against the Jets. Yeah, you did cover, but it was really 2 big plays that were the difference in that game. And then you just totally blow this game at home, nonetheless.
Well, and Lamar Jackson played well.
Yeah. The defense was the only issue in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that usually you don't see out of Lamar in the games that they lose, is that he doesn't have that great of a game. And for going 21 and for 29, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, he had a big game.
He had a big game. QBR of 142. Like, that's they need to win those games, and this is surprising because Baltimore is usually known for their top level defenses too. I know we've seen that step back, but you didn't see the turnovers. Well, I guess Tua had 2 interceptions, but like, you didn't see the turnovers play as much of a role in this game as Baltimore defense usually does.
Yeah, I mean, at halftime, this game looked absolutely over, dude. It looked like Miami stood 0 chance in this game.
28-7, yeah.
It looked like it was going to be an absolute runaway. I mean, Baltimore was just driving down the field basically every possession they had.
Yep.
I mean, if I'm running this team, I'm firing the entire defensive staff, dude. Like, you cannot allow that to happen. And, you do got to give props to Tua, because Baltimore was basically saying, hey, if you want to beat us over the top, we'll let you beat us over the top. we're
And he
not going to
did.
give you anything underneath, because that was really the difference in the game. And then
Yep.
he just kept launching it downfield, and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, both of those motherfuckers running wide open down the field.
Yep. Yep.
And we know this against Tyreek Hill and against the Chiefs. You know, when he was with the Chiefs, you play 2 high safeties and you just don't let Tyreek Hill beat you down the field, and you have a great chance of winning.
Yep.
I mean, Baltimore just absolutely they only have themselves to blame for losing this game. And
they only have the defense to blame for losing this game.
Yeah,
offensively, this was a great offensive game for them. I mean, you put up 38 points, you think, 9 out of 10 times they're going to win this game.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. They only have themselves to blame, like, because their defense lost them in this game. That's why they lost.
Yep. All
right, let's talk about the next game. The Jets and the Cleveland Browns. This is another game where the Browns really only have themselves to blame for losing this game.
Yep.
The Jets win outright, 31-30. Cleveland closed -7.5 at most spots. I know for the most part they were -6.5, and the over/under was 38.5.
Yeah.
And then this, they I'm sorry, was it 38.5 or 39?
39.5.
39.5.
Yep.
And this game goes way over.
Yeah.
I mean, almost doubles it. So,
well, I kind of figured that it was going to go over because these defenses are not.
Well, Cleveland's defense is good. They got 2.
Cleveland's defense is all right.
Myles Garrett, he's one of the best pass rushers in the league.
Yeah, but over the top, they don't have anything.
I mean, Denzel Ward is really good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I didn't think this game was gonna go over. I didn't bet it, but I couldn't believe that it went over as much as it did. Like, that was insane, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Flacco, he looked good, man. He was throwing he was slinging that thing out there.
Yeah,
he looked great.
Well, and I think you have to put a little bit of blame on. When was that Nick Chubb touchdown that he didn't run out the clock?
So first, there's like 2 minutes and 2 seconds left, right?
Yeah.
So obviously there's a 2-minute warning, but that very play, Kareem Hunt goes out of bounds. If he stays in bounds, it goes to the 2-minute warning. The Jets had no timeouts, and then they just kneel on the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next play, or 2 plays later, Nick Chubb runs into the end zone. If he just slid down, game's over.
Yeah.
Right. So that touchdown actually gave the Jets a chance, even though they went up 14 with less than 2 minutes to go. I mean, it was wild, dude. The Jets had literally after Nick Chubb scores that touchdown, they had less than 1% chance to win this game.
Yeah.
And they end up winning. I mean, it's insane. But one thing I did want to talk about this game, though, is that Joe Flacco, he looks good. And he didn't look terrible against the Ravens either. Like I said, they really lost that game because of 2 big plays.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking to myself when I'm watching this game, is this going to be a situation like Kurt Warner was with the Cardinals, where like Kurt Warner was obviously on the back end of his career. He looked like he was going to be out of the league soon. He was just there to mentor Matt Leinart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Zach Wilson is the Matt Leinart in this situation.
Yeah.
If Flacco continues to do this and the Jets are respectable and they're good, do they keep Flacco?
That's tough.
Because, I mean, he basically won them this game.
Yeah, he did. He did. I don't think at his age, I don't think you can assume that he's going to do this day in and day out.
I mean,
they
didn't think about that with Kurt Warner either, and he led him to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's 37. He's going to be 38 at the end of this year. I mean, they're definitely not getting the Super Bowl. They don't have the offensive or defensive firepower to get them.
I mean, nobody thought the Cardinals were going to get to the Super Bowl the year they did either. Nobody did. 0 people thought that.
They just don't have the. I mean, they don't have the schedule to show.
I mean, this was a game that was supposed to be a loss, dude. This game was less than they had less than basically a less than 15% chance of winning this game from the outside of the game, and they end up winning.
And they shouldn't have.
No, I mean, it took
they
a
find a
miracle.
way, but they shouldn't have won.
But that's the NFL, though.
They shouldn't have won.
The NFL is a game of inches, dude.
Yeah,
we hear that all the time. I think more importantly, like if you're the Browns, because right now if you're the Browns, you're like, all right, if we can stay afloat by the time Watson gets back, we have a really good shot at making a run, right? And then they should have been 2-0 after this week, right? And last week they were dogs, and they went out right. So it's like you're looking at this if you're a Browns fan or a Browns backer or whatever, and you're like, man, we lost a game we shouldn't have. This could get ugly by the time Deshaun Watson gets back. And it really wasn't Jacoby Brissett's fault.
No.
You know, it was dumb mistakes, mental mistakes.
Yeah. When you got to think they've got the Steelers next week, who they very well could lose to.
No, I don't know about the Steelers. Look like shit, dude. Even in their win.
They could very well lose to. Then you got the Falcons, the Chargers, and the Patriots. Oh no, he's out 11 games. Never mind. It's not 6 anymore.
His first game back, the Texans.
The Texans. Okay, so the Patriots, and then it's a really tough stretch there. The Ravens, the Bengals, who we don't know about right now. The Dolphins, the Bills, and the Bucks. Like, this is not an easy schedule for them.
Nope.
So this was one that they needed to win. And the Falcons are coming up in 2 weeks too. I mean, they showed a little bit of life at the end of the game. You know, this week they could easily do that at
2 games in a row. They had chance. I mean, I know that it was like a slim to none chance of beating the Rams, but I mean, they covered the 10. Yep. They finished within 4 points. Yeah, right. They fought.
They did.
They fought till the end.
17 points in the fourth quarter is not an easy task against the Rams. I know the Rams kind of bent over and just, took those hits, but they let them back in.
Yep. And also, too, Ben, the Falcons, they almost beat the Saints, too. They're much better than I think people anticipated coming into the season for sure. I think they're much better. So I don't know where I see Cleveland at this point. Yeah. It's a bad loss, dude. And it's a game if they played 100 times, they lose 1 time, maybe 2, 3. Yeah. But
so you're 1-1 right now. You've got the Steelers. Do you take that as a win or a loss?
For the Steelers?
Yeah.
On Thursday?
Yep.
In Cleveland?
In Cleveland.
Cleveland's going to win that game.
Okay. So 2-1 Falcons in Atlanta.
I don't know. That could be a toss-up game, dude.
I'd probably put that right now.
Who do they play the week after?
Chargers.
I mean, we don't know what's up with Herbert.
Yeah.
Herbert could be out like a month or 2 with a rib injury. They're saying he's day-to-day right now, but I think they're just trying to be optimistic about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we'll find out a lot more tomorrow once all the testing goes up.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be a W.
Yeah. Well, we'll split those 2 games. How about that? Falcons and Chargers. We'll split those 2 games. So that puts them at
2-2.
What's that? 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2.
Then Patriots
in New England or Cleveland?
In Cleveland.
Probably win that game.
Okay, so 4-2. Ravens loss.
In where?
In Baltimore.
And they could win that game. That's a division game, so
I'd still put that at a loss.
Well, the Ravens haven't looked that good, dude. They just let Tua throw for 462 against them, dog.
They haven't looked that bad.
I mean, dude, they didn't look
offensively. They're great.
They didn't even look that great offensively in the Jets game, other than 2 plays.
I'm putting the Ravens getting a win on the Browns, so that's 4-3. The Bengals.
I mean, who knows if the Bengals offensive line continues that, I wouldn't count the Browns out because Myles Garrett could easily do to the Bengals what Micah Parsons did to the Bengals today.
True. So 5-3 Dolphins
in Miami. Definite L, dude.
Okay.
A team from the north going to South Beach in winter.
5-4. Then they play the Bills, which puts them at 5-5.
L.
And then the Bucks in Cleveland.
I mean, they could win that game. Especially, when is that? November
27th. Yeah, Thanksgiving.
They could win that game. It's going to be cold.
Yeah, so that puts them at 6-7 or 7-6. No. Sorry.
For the Browns.
Yeah, 11 games, 6-5 or 5-6.
Yeah, that's I
That's
think 5 and
respectable for
6.
being out.
Yeah, I think 5 and 6. Like if I'm 5 and 6 and Deshaun Watson comes back, I feel very confident about being a playoff team.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like if you're losing and Jacoby Brissett isn't the reason why, then there could be some issues. Because like today, they should have won that game. Like regardless, that was just a stupid loss, dude.
Yeah.
Right. But if Jacoby looks like he's played well the first 2 games.
Yeah.
So if they're 5 and 6 and Jacoby looks as good as he does, I'm not feeling too great, regardless of who my quarterback is, because that means we got issues elsewhere.
Yeah.
A lot of issues. So we'll see where they're at. All right, let's talk about this next game. We got Tampa Bay, New Orleans. Tampa Bay closes -2.5 on the road, over under 43.5. This game went way under.
Yeah.
This game was 3-0 at halftime, dude. It was a dog shit, horrible game. Jameis Winston has 4 fractured vertebrae in his back or something. He's fucking out here playing. Like,
Jesus.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. But basically, Tampa wins 20-10. They cover the spread. The under covers pretty easily. It was just a downright ugly game. Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore get ejected. What's your thoughts on this fucking dog shit game?
Well, I think something that you brought into a point was the officiating and how bad the officiating was. And, I think I think we have to expect the Tom Brady, momentum switch, that you're going to get more calls on the opposing team when Tom Brady's playing.
Yeah, I don't like to be a conspiracy theorist, but that was a poorly officiated game, dude. Roby gets called for a huge personal foul, which extended a drive. 12 men on the field, which extended a drive. It wasn't like these calls were they were game changing calls, dude.
Yeah,
extended drives and stuff. If you're the Saints though, the Saints were atrocious without Jameis last year. Jameis already is hurt. It doesn't look good for the Saints, dude.
No, it really doesn't.
This might be an easy runaway for the Bucs, and to be honest, dude, the Bucs haven't looked good for 2 games, dude.
Yeah.
Their defense looks all right, but how much is that their defense other than it is Jameis being hurt?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know what we're expecting of the Bucs. Plus, this news comes out today, right before the game, that Tom Brady is getting Wednesdays off for a personal day. He's got this drama with his wife. There's just, I don't love what I'm hearing about this team.
I
don't love what I see.
Is the turnovers. Because that 5 turnovers today, you're never going to win a game with 5 turnovers.
No, you're not.
So, I think and really looking at the penalty numbers here, it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but it's when those penalties are.
Yeah, it was 9-8 penalty wise. Tampa Bay had 8 penalties for 101 yards. New Orleans had 9 for 60 yards. It was really the turnovers. 2 fumbles lost, 3 interceptions.
Well, and when the penalty, you can have less penalties, but if all your penalties extend drives, you got no chance.
Yeah.
So, I think that was, I'm not saying it's the biggest thing. Obviously, Tampa did look like the better team, but neither of these teams look good today.
Yeah.
I didn't walk away from this game being like, oh, wow, Tampa looks really great. This is 2 games in a row where their offense really stalled in the red zone a handful of times.
Yep.
They did against Dallas until Dallas was their offense was 3 and out so many times on last Sunday that the defense was worn out by the end of the game, which is when Tampa made their move. Yeah. Same thing kind of happened today, dude. The Saints offense just couldn't really get anything going outside of that first drive, and it was
that offensive line allowed 6 sacks for 30 yards.
Yeah, it was. The Saints got a lot to figure out because that defense is good. It's good enough to compete. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of on wait and see with both these teams. Right now, Tampa's 2-0 against the spread. New Orleans is 0-2. Keep that in mind going forward. But and keep in mind Jameis's injury because that's huge.
Yeah, it really is.
All right, let's talk about this next game, Ben. Carolina heads into New York. Carolina closes -1. New York +1, and they end up winning at home 19-16. Brian Dable now 2-0. This is the first time in I think 5 years that the New York Giants are 2-0 to start the season.
Yeah.
5 or 6 years, one of those. But again, I mean, this wasn't a pretty game, dude, at all. This was a very ugly game. I mean, what's your thoughts on this? Carolina's 0-2. When does Matt Rule get fired?
Yeah. And I don't know which is more predominant here, is how bad is this a win for, or sorry, how bad of a loss is this for the Panthers, or how good of a win is this for the Giants? I mean, both of these teams, have higher expectations than they should, but I don't know. The Panthers aren't great, so I'm not too impressed with the Giants, and Giants aren't great, so it being a 3-point win,
well, I mean,
really
I think
shows the Panthers of where they're at.
I think the Giants, I mean, they had a good win against Tennessee. They really had no business winning that game, but they do.
Yeah.
And then today, I mean, it was just an ugly game, and Carolina at this point, dude, it's like they go out and get Baker Mayfield. They go out and get Sam Darnold first, then Baker Mayfield.
Mhm.
After they get Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, it's just the same issues, dude. They're just like they're plugging a hole with like Scotch tape, dude.
Yeah. Mesh. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like it's just rearing its head because I mean, this is a game your defense holds your opponent to 19 points and you can't win the game.
Yeah.
That's a huge issue, dude.
Yeah.
You know
Baker
what I mean?
didn't even throw 50%.
Oh, it was
He had
ugly.
145 yards.
And it's the same issues over and over with this team.
Yeah.
So rest in peace to Matt Rule's NFL career. It's about to be
275 total yards.
If
I
you
mean, I guess
if you had to take a coach to get fired first, is it going to be Ron Rivera of the Commanders, Matt Rule of the Panthers, or who else would get fired? I think those two are like the only likely candidates right now. Who do you think does it happen to first?
What about? I was gonna say, what about the Colts coach? Probably the Panthers coach, because it's just like they haven't even shown.
Yeah, they suck.
The Atlanta is at least coming back and playing for their team in these games.
Yeah,
Panthers are not. Panthers are just like.
Yep.
Panthers are just out there. They don't even know what they're doing.
I mean, to be honest, the Commanders suck.
Commanders do suck.
And, I mean, Panthers aren't much better. I think the Panthers, like, last year, starting the season 3-0, their defense was really good. Their defense is still good, right? Their offense is a huge issue, dude, and, like, they haven't gotten better, but I think their expectations are much higher. I mean, Matt Rule could definitely be out, dude.
Yeah.
Because this team hasn't improved. It's only gone backwards, really.
Exactly. And I think Washington's win against the Jags probably helps them. They got a tough schedule coming up. Oh, man.
Yeah, no, Washington, I mean, in my opinion, dude, if you're a coach on the hot seat and, like, you get blown out, like, that's an issue. I don't think Indy Frank Reich is going to get fired yet, unless it continues.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they've never played well in Jacksonville, like, ever as a franchise. And, like, they never play well on week 1. Like, it's not a Frank Reich thing. It's just, like, there's trends that are just true, dude. And it just happens to be true. However, I do think that it is an issue that these quarterbacks, like Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, like, every quarterback that goes there goes to die, dude.
Yeah.
Like, they just stink, bro.
Yep.
I mean, Matt Ryan has not been great.
The running game hasn't been great either.
Yeah,
it's been a huge problem.
Yeah, it's an issue, dude, that they got to take care of, which we're going to get to in a second. But let's get to this next game. We got the New England Patriots against the Pittsburgh Steelers. This game closed New England -3. It It was a push. Over under was 40.5. It goes under. This game was -2.5 for basically all week until like an hour before kickoff and moved to 3. What's your thoughts here? Because again, Ben, this is another ugly ass fucking game where both these teams should have lost.
Yeah, I thought the Patriots played better this week than last week. I mean, getting a W obviously helps that, but I was more impressed with what Mac was able to do offensively with what he was handed to him. I mean, making that smart play to go for the deep ball. I think it was on a 3rd and 4, but got the penalty called on him had a defensive penalty on there. So he did take that ball to Aguilar right before halftime, and took that chance on a free play.
Yeah.
And no, sorry, he didn't get the touchdown. He got a pass interference in the end zone, which took them down to the 1 yard line.
Yep.
And that was a really smart play to get. I think it was like 24, a net of 24 yards, because he would have only gotten 5 for the first down. So, or 5 for the holding or offsides. So, like, I think he played a lot smarter of a game and looked a lot better than week 1. Steelers are toast, man. I think they're already done.
Yeah. My only question about this game is, when do we see Pickett?
Yeah. Yep. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see him at the end of the game.
Nah, I think it's going to take like 4. If they start 0-4, I think we see him.
Okay. I thought he was at least going to get some time at the end of this game. But, I mean, I guess you can say they pulled a comeback in the 4th quarter, which is why we didn't see him. But, for only getting 2 field goals throughout 3 quarters, I'd get Trubinsky out of there now.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't looked good in either of the game.
Yeah.
I skipped 2 games. I'm sorry. Let's backtrack real quick to Indy and Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
For the next game. Indy closes -3. You had this as one of your best bets.
I did.
The over-under was 44. I had Jaguars as one of my best bets.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this game? I mean, Trevor Lawrence, dude, he's looked pretty good.
He looked very good today. 25 for 30, 235 yards, 2 TDs. I mean, this Colts offense, it's got me without words, man.
Yeah, they've been pretty fucking trash, dude.
Not a single point against the Jags last week.
Matt Ryan sacked 5 times.
Yeah. 3
interceptions. Just nasty, dude.
Yeah.
2
Matt
fumbles.
Ryan was supposed to be the answer, and he's not even looking close.
Well, I think the biggest issue with Indy right now is that, you have Matt Ryan because your defense is supposed to be elite and your running game is supposed to be elite, right? So all you're really asking Matt Ryan is, hey, manage the game and make throws when you have to.
Yeah.
Well, today they started down, so they really weren't able to run the ball very much. They had to throw because they were behind the whole game, I mean, at one point they were down 24-0. It was basically 24-0 the entire second half of the game.
Yeah.
It's not like Jacksonville just smash it down their throat. I mean, there was 0 points scored. They played a good defensive game. Indianapolis can't get anything going.
Yeah.
They're a team that is going to have to play from ahead because that is their style of play. That allows you to run the ball and play great defense. If they cannot do that, this team is going to have a lot of issues because Matt Ryan at this point in his career, he is not that guy that is going to win you a ball game. And he's proven that in these first 2 games, really.
Yeah.
So.
And if you don't have Pittman.
Yeah, I told you that. I told you in Irving that was a big loss, dude.
You did.
Because the first game, he basically targeted Pittman like 20% of his throws, dude. And that Pittman's really their best receiver. Like, he's like their only good wide receiver. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Indy does have issues, dude, for sure. But I do think that they can win with their style of play. Like, they cannot get behind 2 scores early, dude. Or else they're not going to beat anybody. I don't care who the fuck they're playing.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
going
and
to lose
then
majority of them.
I want to say they don't have the schedule that's going to be conducive to that. Chiefs next week.
Dude, good
It's
luck.
tough. Yeah.
Good luck. They might start 0-3. I mean, shit, dude. If they start 0-3, 0-4, Frank Reich might get fired.
Yeah.
This is a team that was minus 200 to win their division.
Yeah, they got Titans week 4, Broncos week 5.
Titans suck. And Broncos, dude, they don't look very good either.
They didn't know.
We're gonna get to them soon. Let's move over to the next game we skipped over, which was Washington at Detroit. This was the first game Detroit's been favored in 2 years. Washington was -1 closing. This game was basically a pick 'em all day though until right before kickoff. So Detroit closes as a slight dog, over under 47.5. Game goes over. Detroit wins by more than one score. What's your thoughts on this one, Ben?
I mean, it's about time they won. Like it was just it's good to see this actually happening because Detroit has battled so much over the last year and a half that they just need to get in that win column, and this is going to give them so much more just confidence going into the next few weeks that they can win games. I mean, yeah, they weren't. It was basically a pick 'em here because things flip flopped throughout the week. But I mean, you get a good. You finally get a good game out of Goff, which they really need.
Yep.
So
If they get a good
gotta
game
get
out
that
of
run
Goff,
game.
then they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Washington, I mean, Wentz didn't even play bad and they lose. Their defense still sucks. Jack Del Rio should have
fumble
been
and
fired a
interception,
while
though.
ago. But I mean, like, I don't know. I think both these teams are basically in the same position, which is why like it made sense that it was a pick 'em because I think both teams are like they're good teams, but they're just like not all the way
Manageable.
there yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think that both teams have good talent, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
They have pieces. It's
yeah.
definitely not a.
Yeah,
It's not a cohesive group.
and Washington is just like I said, dude. Their defense with the talent they have on that defense should be a lot better than the team that's giving up 36 points.
Yeah.
So
To
I
the
mean,
Lions.
they got to get it figured. I mean, the Eagles gave up a lot of points to them too. Let's move over to the next game. We got the Rams and the Falcons. This game was played in LA. Rams closed as a 10.5-point favorite. Atlanta covers the spread. LA wins 31-27. It goes over 46.5. This was a game that, the Rams were pretty much in control of pretty much all game.
Yep.
Stafford did turn it over 2 times. So did Mariota. But, the Falcons came back. They scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. They scored 24 in the second half. They outscored the Rams 24-10. I mean, this is a Rams team, Ben, that I talked about on the show last week with Irvin, and I said, this is a team that their defense looked old against the Bills.
Yeah, you were talking to me about that on Tuesday.
Yeah, and their offensive line looks terrible.
Yeah.
And so here they are. They win the game outright.
Yeah.
I mean, or the Rams win this game, but it's a game they should have won by a lot more considering the talent disparities and they're at home.
Yeah.
I mean, are you concerned about the Rams at all?
I mean, my big concern about the Rams is Stafford. And we're not at week 8 to week 10 where his shoulder is really going to be hurting him. So, if they can bulk up on these, on these games that they're supposed to win, I think even in this first half of the season, I think that it does put them in a decent place.
Yep.
But I'm not worried about the Rams quite yet. It's once they get to the middle to end of the year where that defense is really tired and we don't know what's going to happen with Stafford's shoulder.
Yep. Fair points. All right, let's run to this next game. We got the Niners against the Seahawks. Niners closed -8.5. This was one of my favorite bets. And the over-under was 40. The game goes under, but the Niners cover the 8.5 points. I mean, this was just flat-out domination by the Niners, which is what I kind of expected.
Yeah.
The Seattle Seahawks, their offense, I mean, they only had 30 yards of offense in the second half against the Broncos, and the Niners are an even better defense. However, the biggest story of this game was Trey Lance goes down with a broken ankle, likely to be out the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So Jimmy G is back to lead the Niners to the promised land, which I think is a kind of a blessing in disguise for this team. If I'm going to be honest with you, because this is a team that has Super Bowl aspirations, and Trey Lance is young, and there's going to be growing pains.
Yes, but now those growing pains are pushed back.
They are, but if Jimmy, he got you to a Super Bowl before, he's gotten to an NFC Championship before. I mean, the team looked good with him. They didn't look bad.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Jimmy's going to be the best backup quarterback in the league.
Except for Joe Flacco.
Now, yeah, I guess Joe Flacco's up there too. So this is definitely a catch-22, because does it give the Niners a better chance of making it deep into the playoffs? Yes. Did they still have a chance to make the playoffs and do a decent run in the playoffs with that defense? Yes. If they had Lance in there. So I would have rather had Lance in there, getting snaps, getting reps, and getting the time needed that he's going to have to progress himself further as a QB, because he didn't get any college time. So
yeah, but that's a huge issue with this team, though, snaps. And I think that's why we've heard a lot of, there was a lot of drama coming out the last couple of weeks, especially last week right before the game. Trey Lance doesn't get named captain, and some of the veterans in that locker room reportedly, but where there's smoke, there's usually fire. A lot of the veterans felt slighted by the fact that they're saying to themselves, hey, we're a Super Bowl contending team. We don't want to have to go through growing pains of having a rookie, even if he could potentially be better down the line. We want to win right now. Who knows what's going to happen next year? We could get hurt. You know what I mean? So that's why I think that this could benefit them. However, we don't know. I mean, maybe Trey Lance ends up being fucking one of the best quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, where he fucking wins MVP. We don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he didn't look like that.
Yeah.
And Jimmy...
Well, now we really won't know.
Exactly. But we really won't know. And there's no telling how far Trey Lance could have taken this team. Yeah. But now it's where Jimmy can take them.
Yeah.
And now it looks like...
And Jimmy's got ankles made of glass. He's got a shoulder made of glass.
I mean, if he gets hurt, you guys are fucked.
When do we have Beathead coming back in and being our now third string quarterback as one of the worst backups?
Yeah, you guys are screwed if he comes in. However, I don't think it's going to screw you guys right now. Defense is great. I actually think that I like the Niners with Jimmy to win the NFC West, to be honest.
Yeah. I haven't been too impressed with the NFC West, so yeah.
We'll get to some of the teams later. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the teams. We've gone to all three. All right, so let's move into the next game. We got Dallas, Cincinnati. Cincinnati closed -7.5 on the road. Dallas covers, wins outright, 20-17. Over under was 42, so the total goes under. What's your thoughts on this game? Is it time to hit the panic button for Cincy?
I definitely think so, because I'm trying to find our text from earlier. When we were talking about this game, that we have to have the only chance is for Burrow to suck again and Rush to throw some gems. I said not likely, but you said any given Sunday, and look what we have right now.
Any given Sunday, dude. That's why this game is insane, dude. You just never know what is gonna happen.
Yeah. Cooper Rush throws a touchdown, and there's a rushing touchdown in the first quarter, and then you've got 2 field goals the rest of the game.
And Micah Parsons looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
He looked like defensive player of the year caliber.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really looked that way for 2 weeks.
And Burrow did not look good today.
Yeah, but I mean the offensive line's not holding up. He has no time.
That's true.
He's under pressure all game. So I mean it's hard to throw when you're on your back foot, dude.
Yep.
It's a big issue.
Sacked 6 times for loss of 34.
Yep. And that ruins your anticipation for throws. All right, let's talk about let's lead way into this next game because of that. And that's the Arizona Cardinals and the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, this was a game of two halves. The first half, Raiders up 20-0. Cardinals come back, outscore them 29-3 in the second half, basically all in the fourth quarter, Ben. I mean, this was a team where Kyler Murray, the first half, was under pressure all game. Like he couldn't even drop back to throw the ball without a guy being in his face.
Yep.
But this man is magical.
It was insane. I thought they ruined it by getting that delay a game on the 2-point conversion. I thought it was over. I knew you were just livid at that moment.
Oh
just
my god, dude! There was
losing your shit. Right
there was
there.
about 20 times in this game I thought it was over, dude, and they were losing. It started in the first half. I was like, "There's no way, dude! Like this team looks so bad. There's zero chance they have a chance at this game." However, when they came back and it was 20-7, and the Raiders looked like shit, dude. The second half.
Second half was.
And I'll give credit where credit's due. Like I've been on Vance Joseph, defensive coordinator of the Arizona Cardinals. I've been on his head for about 2 years now. I still think he's the worst defensive coordinator in the league. I still think he should be fired because a big adjustment he made in the second half was he put number 8 overall pick Isaiah Simmons from 2 years ago in the game. Why is he not playing, dude?
Yeah.
He comes in and he makes plays. Yeah. Like this guy just refuses to play guys. Like he doesn't develop guys at all. Yeah. And it's a big issue. But, you know, Kyler Murray, he saved this coaching staff today with some of the fucking shit he did, dude. I mean, that 2-point conversion when he ran around for fucking 20 seconds and then ran it in. I mean, that was incredible, dude. And then that one where Max Crosby fucking basically has him down. He gets out of the tackle.
Somehow out of the tackle, yeah.
And throws the ball to AJ Green. I mean, dude, this is stuff that, like, it's Mahomes-like, dude. Yeah. And that's what makes Kyler special. But the problem is that this is how they've relied on winning, and he gets hurt. And if he gets hurt, the Cardinals are done, dude. They have no chance. They don't have anything.
Yeah. It won't matter that you have DeAndre Hopkins coming back in week 6.
Yeah, and Irvin texted me in the first half, too, and he was like, man, I can't believe DeAndre Hopkins because, I mean, this offense hasn't looked good without D-Hop last year and this year. He's like, I can't believe a wide receiver is, like, makes that much of an impact on an offense. But I mean, they made enough plays to get it done today. Bad loss for the Raiders, dude.
Once again, Raiders defense is what loses them in this game.
That was the big question mark coming into the year was their offensive line and their defense, dude. And their defense did not look good in that second half. They got, and I'll give them a little break, dude. They were on the field basically the entire second half, dude. Sure. But they got a lot of issues, dude. And only out of 400 teams coming into today that were 0-2, only 38 have ever made the playoffs. Yeah. It's about 11%. So it's not looking very good for the Raiders to make the playoffs, dude. I mean, this is a team that a lot of people had as NFC West, team to beat.
Yep. Yeah. Easily a playoff team. But now we're questioning it. Yeah.
We are. However, let's move into this very last game, or second to last game, which could open the door for them. And that's the Broncos and Texans. I mean, this is a Broncos team that has not looked good. No. What's your thoughts on the Broncos? Is it just going to take them a little while to get going, or are you seriously concerned at this point? Or not seriously concerned, but are you concerned?
I'm concerned at this point. They've had 2 easier scheduled teams to play. Yeah. In the Seahawks and the Texans, and they barely got it done today against the Texans.
Yep.
I mean, in my eyes, if you have Russ, and
Russ looked like shit, dude.
He looked horrible. If you have Williams, if you have Gordon, Judy, who was not at 100%. If you have Sutton, you got to be winning those. That offense wins games. And their defense isn't that bad. So you have to be winning. They should be 2-0 right now, easily. And this 1-1, only winning by measly points last week, losing last week and only winning by measly points this week.
Well, last week they won by terrible clock management, and the football gods, they did what had to be
done. They lost last week. Seattle won.
I mean, that's what I mean. They lost last week because of bad clock management, right at the end of the game, and I mean they beat the shit out of it. Like, if you look at the box score and then you look at the score of the game, you're like, how the fuck did that happen? I mean, it was an odd game. The football gods, sometimes they just have to put, balance out the football world. That was one of those games. But today, I mean, they're 10-point favorites in this game. And they at no point in this game did I ever think they had a chance of covering. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, dude, this is not a good football team. The Texans, while they've looked good, right? They've looked better than we thought. Broncos, dude, they got some major issues, bro.
Major issues.
And it could rely on Nathaniel Hackett, because he kind of looks like he's lost in the sauce, as they like to say.
There we go.
All right, let's talk about one last game, the Sunday night game, and then we'll get to the Monday night games real quick. The Packers at home, coming off the loss to the Vikings, 10.5-point favorites, over under 42. The game goes under, even though in the first half it was 24-7. Only 6 points scored in the second half. And the and the Packers cover the 10.5, the closing line. What's your thoughts on this game, Ben?
I still think Green Bay should have put up more than 27 points on Chicago. Chicago's defense is, I don't want to say elite, but they're a good defense. But I mean, this should have been a blowout. This should have been 42-3.
Nah, not that bad.
40.
I mean, dude,
missing Devontae is big, but
27 points is a lot in the NFL, dude. That's a lot.
27 points is a lot. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I mean, they got lucky.
7,
they got
8,
lucky
9,
too
10,
that
11, 12. You had 12 teams score 27 or more this week.
I mean, dude, that's a fourth of the league.
Yeah.
I mean,
so scoring 27 points is not that hard.
A third of the league. Only 33% of the league did. There's 32 teams. Not even half the league scored 27. This way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of the 14 games today. Over 50% of the games had a team higher than.
I think the biggest thing of this game is like they won 27-10, but it didn't feel like that big of a win because the Bears had 4th and goal at the 1, and it was a controversial play. I don't know if Justin Fields got in or not. You can't really tell, which is why they called it a no touchdown. But I mean, that's a touchdown. It's 27-17. Game's a little bit different, and the Bears were moving the ball on the Packers. They were running it. They were averaging like 15 yards a carry in the second half.
Yeah,
they just couldn't convert on touchdowns. And I think that's my biggest question about the Bears going forward is that I don't think they can beat you throwing the ball. Like, they're gonna have to run the ball, but they're gonna get stuffed on the run when teams know that that's what they're gonna do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to go forward. I'm gonna pump the brakes a little bit on the Packers. I want to see a little bit more before I feel confident that they're back. Like I said, 27-10 sounds like a big win, but to be honest, it was a lot closer than the score resembles. Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about these 2 Monday night games. So the first game we have is.
Hold on. By the way.
What?
Rodgers still owns the Bears.
Yeah, no, he does, dude. He absolutely owns the Bears, bro. He's like 21-3 in his career against the spread against the Bears, dude. That's pretty fucking incredible.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to pop that in there.
Nah, you're right. All right, so right now, Buffalo Bills, Tennessee Titans. Right now we have basically Buffalo -10 everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the over under is 47.5, 48, depending on the book. It opened at 50, so we've seen money coming on the under, and we've seen money coming on the Bills, but the line hasn't moved a ton, half a point about.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on this game? Right now, 64% of the bets are on the Bills, 70% of the money. Titans getting 36% of the bets, only 30% of the money.
Yeah. I mean, 10 points is a lot of points here. But I think the Bills are just offensively and defensively better than Tennessee. What does get me is that Tennessee has kind of owned Buffalo over these last couple of years. Even with Josh Allen in the mix, that scares me. It definitely scares me. I think, they're Bills are 1-3, 1-2 in their last 3, and 4-6 in their last 10. Going up against Tennessee. So I'm a little hesitant about Buffalo by 10. I still think Buffalo is going to win this game, but I'm a little hesitant about that 10 points. They should easily take this 10 points.
Yeah, so I mean, the last 2 meetings, Tennessee's won. I mean, it took a miracle for Tennessee to win last year. I mean, dude, Buffalo at home, Monday Night Football. I mean, 10 is a lot, dude, and you know me, I don't like to lay a ton of chalk, but I'm not making a bet on this game. I don't really like the game, but if I'm gonna make a play, it's gonna be Buffalo -10. I just think Buffalo is a much better team. I wasn't high on Tennessee coming into the year, and after losing to the Giants, like, it just solidified my original opinion on Tennessee. I probably lean the over too, just because I think that, both these teams' last 2 games have gone over. I think both these teams are going to be able to, or I at least think the Bills are going to be able to score, which could open up some opportunities for, Tennessee to score a little bit in garbage time. But, man, I just think Tennessee's way too good, dude. And at home, I think this is very similar to the Packers-Bears, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the sense
What
where...
about...
Go ahead.
How much of an aspect do you think Gabe Davis being out is going to play?
I mean, we'll see.
He's listed as questionable right now.
Yeah, he went from doubtful to questionable, so he'll probably play.
Saturday injury though is not the greatest.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm not sure, to be honest. Because you still have Stephon Diggs, and the Bills were able to run the ball pretty well against the Rams, which is normally a great team against the run. And in Tennessee, their defensive line is pretty good, but they let the Giants run the ball down their throat. So I'm not in love with the Titans here, dude. There's no way I'm taking the Titans. I'll tell you that much. This game is either take the Bills or stay away, in my opinion.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you on that.
All right, let's move to the last Monday night game. This is a game you actually have on your best bets. We have Minnesota +2.5 at Philadelphia. We are expecting rain in this game as well. Over under right now is 50.5. Depending on the book, I'm seeing 50.5 though. I also see, what is that? Yeah, 50.5 basically everywhere.
Yeah,
basically 2.5 everywhere. What's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I like the Vikings here. Not only are you getting 2.5 points, but you've also got the better rushing team in Minnesota here. Dalvin is definitely
better than Philly.
Yeah, I'd say Dalvin's better than Sanders. I know you have a more mobile quarterback in Jalen than Kurt, but Kurt is going to still be able to make the passes that I don't think Jalen is going to make in the rain. So I think you're going to still get a little bit of offense with Jefferson and Thielen over the top. And then Dalvin, I think, can run it down your throat better than Miles Sanders can. And Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. I think so. This game's tough to me, dude, because earlier in the week, I love the Vikings, dude. And the more I have seen this line kind of just stand still, even as like money has come in on the Vikings, it makes me a little hesitant, dude, because especially with the rain. Because here's the thing, is Philly cannot play from behind. Philly plays from behind, they're gonna lose. They also haven't played, or they haven't won against necessarily great quarterbacks in the last 2 years. But Kirk Cousins in prime time is still Kirk Cousins in prime time. He's not good in prime time throughout his career.
Let's change this. It is no longer raining tomorrow night.
No longer raining.
They dropped the rain designation.
Okay. I still worry about Kirk Cousins in prime time.
Sure.
I do. And this is the thing. If the Eagles can get to Kirk Cousins and make him uncomfortable, they win this game. If Kirk Cousins has a clean pocket, he's able to throw the ball, and the Vikings are able to run the ball, they win the game. Right? Eagles were up pretty big against the Lions. And then, Lions kind of got garbage time, backdoor cover. They cover the game. So it's important for Philly to play from ahead. If they're playing from behind, Minnesota will win this game outright, and they'll definitely cover the spread.
Minnesota trounced Green Bay last week.
At home, Green Bay with new receivers. But that is, that's good because they did stop the run for Green Bay, which was important, but they were also up like 17-3, so Green Bay was like forced to throw the ball. Aaron Rodgers was holding it a lot because he wasn't really trusting his new receivers. Big adjustment Green Bay made from last week to this week was that Alan Lazard was in. He wasn't hurt. He was hurt last week. And they put Sammy Watkins and Randall Cobb in the game more. Like, you didn't see a lot of Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, which you saw against Minnesota. So it's still kind of wait and see for me on that Vikings tip because of that. Now, like I said, I have my concerns about the Eagles because I don't like Jalen Hurts if he has to play from behind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's important for both of these teams to get out to a very fast start.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a one-possession game. And therefore, I'm going to lean towards the home team. I honestly don't like laying the points here. I don't like the -2.5. I would take Philly money line.
Okay. What's that Vic? -135.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not awful.
Yep.
Might be one of my best bets later. We'll see.
Okay.
All right, should we take a break real quick and then get back in here and talk
I'm out of
about
beer? So
yeah, me too. And then we'll talk some baseball real quick and then get some best bets in here.
Sounds good.
All right, we will be right back. Stay locked, stay loaded. Give us like 1 minute. All right, we are back. Ben's pouring his beer.
Go. It is time to check in on our beers. So it is we're about halfway, a little over halfway through the podcast. So it's time for beer number 2. Jordan, what are you drinking?
I forgot how long the podcasts are when it's football season.
Yep.
The Sunday ones do get a little long. So I got an IPA. This is from the brewery, which is one of our favorite brewing companies.
Absolutely.
This is the Offshoot Treat IPA. So it doesn't really say anything about it. So I don't know what's in it or anything, but it's a treat IPA and it has dogs and cats on the can.
There we go.
So it's like a treat, I guess, for a human like myself.
There we go.
What are you sipping on?
Since we are moving into the fall season here, I think it's the first week of fall.
Is it really?
Decided, yeah.
Oh shit!
We're no longer in summer.
Crazy.
So I decided to go with a pumpkin beer. So this is pumpkin pie treat. It's funny that we both have treat beers. This is a sour ale with pumpkin pie spice blend with toasted marshmallow flavor here. So I think this is the first beer out of Oklahoma that I've ever had. So out of McAllister, Oklahoma, it's a 5.5% from Prairie Artisan Ales. So
interesting.
Definitely see what this is.
That sounds interesting.
So,
Oklahoma, huh?
Well, cool can art, yeah.
Oh, dude, I've seen that beer.
Have you?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm interested to hear what you think of it, dude.
Yep.
I've seen that one. Gonna be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of pumpkin beers, which is why I haven't rushed to it. So
yep.
I am interested, however, to hear your thoughts on it though.
No man.
Because I've seen that beer so many times.
Sour, so that's
nice,
interesting,
dude.
This is the first time I've seen it, and they had it in my grocery store. So
interesting.
Yep.
Nice. Interested in hearing about that one, man. All right, let's talk about some baseball, dude. Because we only got a couple weeks left. We only have about 15 games, 17 games for some teams left in the Major League Baseball season, right? And we didn't have our show last week, and basically all last week on the 3 shows we did have, we only talked football. We only talked the NFL and college. So this is really the only show that we we're gonna have time to talk about baseball because we got NFL tomorrow, we got college football on
Wednesday.
I guess we got
baseball. Tuesday
we're doing
baseball.
NFL.
Yeah,
Tuesday we're doing our NFL picks, right, on Tuesday.
Yeah. We might touch if there's anything that big that happens, but
so I've wanted to ask you because the Yankees, they went on a little streak of winning because they played some dog shit teams. One of the teams they played was the Twins, who they've literally owned the last 2 decades. It doesn't matter how good the Twins are or how bad the Yankees are or how good the Yankees are, or vice versa. They own the Twins, right? So I didn't put a lot into it. But do you trust the Yankees to win a playoff series against any of these AL teams? Any of them?
Nope.
Yeah, neither do I,
so.
dude.
I don't think so. I don't trust them against the Rays, the Mariners.
Nope.
The Astros.
Bro, I got into it with some Yankee fans on Twitter this
Maybe
week.
The Guardians.
I don't even like them against the Guardians because the Guardians have Cal Quantrill, Shane Bieber, and they have Tristan McKenzie. All 3 of those guys, I know Garrett Cole is good, but he hasn't been as great the second half of the season. But outside of Garrett Cole, it's who do you trust on that Yankees rotation to win you ball games in a playoff spot? You know what I mean? And the Guardians have a much better bullpen. That's not even debatable.
Yeah.
Especially with Grant Holmes or Clay Holmes, I'm sorry, of the Yankees. He's been their closer. He lost the game on Friday night against the Brewers. They easily could have got swept. The Brewers were up 4-1 today, end up losing the game, but I don't like this Yankees team. And right now, Ben, the Yankees are plus 550. That's the best odds you can get them at to win the World Series. I think that's kind of low, to be honest, but I get it because it's the Yankees. A lot of people are Yankees fans. So they're going to bet on them. So the book doesn't want to have a big handle, have to pay it out. But like, there's so many other like I would take the Blue Jays in a series against him. I would take the Mariners. I would definitely take the Rays because the Rays have owned them in the last 3 years. So I mean, I don't like this Yankees team, dude. And they've been dog shit since the All-Star break. 17th in WRC plus, 11th in ERA, 23-30 record, dude.
Yeah, and the only thing that they're hanging on to right now is Judge hitting home runs, and he's just blasting them out. But that's their offense.
That
right
is
now.
their offense, dude.
And that's not going to win you games in the playoffs because you're not going to get you aren't going to get fourth and fifth string starters that are
you're getting the best of the best, dude.
Yep.
You are getting the best of the best, and that could very well be a huge issue for the Yankees, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't trust them, dude. I just don't think they have the pitching to go along with some of these other teams. And the fact that outside of Judge, like, I mean, Stanton even looks terrible. Donaldson's look bad. I mean, all these guys haven't really been hitting that well. So,
whole second half, yeah.
I think it could be an issue in the end. Who do you like for a dark horse, though, to win the World Series based on these futures?
I mean, I'd probably put it on the Braves, plus 900. You can never count them out, especially what they did last year.
I don't like how the Braves have looked though lately.
Yeah.
And I also Kenley Jensen sucks, dude.
Once you get to the playoffs, though, it's a whole new ball game.
But
so it doesn't matter what's happened in the regular season.
That's my issue with them though, because if Jansen is closing games for them, Ben, they're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
They're fucked.
Yeah, I think you can. I mean, if you're looking dark horse, you can go Blue Jays at plus 1,500.
Blue Jays have looked good lately.
They've looked good lately. On paper, they're probably the best team in the AL.
Yep.
So if they just have to put things together. Other than that, I don't think you can really take any odds other than Dodgers Astros.
Nah, I don't like the Dodgers for the simple reason that I don't know how their rotation is going to perform. I mean, like Tyler Anderson, Andrew Heaney, even Clayton Kershaw, historically not good in the postseason. You really are throwing like Urias out there, right? And Dustin May, he's been up and down since coming back from the injury. The Astros, I'd probably peg as like my favorite right now, just because I think rotation wise and bullpen wise, they probably are. Them and the Mariners are probably the best, and Rays, I'd probably put those three as like the three best pitching staffs in all of baseball.
Yeah.
The Mets I'm not putting there only because you have DeGrom, Scherzer, question marks, and then the bullpen, it's like they're going to have issues going from starter to Edwin Diaz.
Yep. What offense shows up for the Mets?
Yep. And then the Blue Jays, I think they arguably have the worst bullpen of all the playoff teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't trust any of their bullpen guys. And then Kevin Gausman is like, he'll have 2 great starts and then he'll have 2 bad starts. And he'll have 2 great starts. I mean, you don't know what Gausman you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't looked that great. I do like Alek Manoah. But you have to rely on both those guys because aside from those guys, like, are you going to rely on Ross Stripling and Jose Barrios in a fucking playoff series? I mean, I hope not. Like, it shouldn't get to that point. So I think that a lot of these teams are flawed. Maybe the Cardinals. Right? I mean, Cardinals they got a nice roster.
They got a nice roster, but they're very Jekyll and Hyde. And they're a little streaky. They'll go through.
They are hella. But I mean, that's the baseball season. I think a big part of their issue is like the bottom of their lineup has been so bad for pretty much the entire year. And it's kind of like the same situation as a Rays, which is why I kind of like, dude, the Rays offense is just like total dog shit, dude. Yeah. But they also have arguably 2 of the best starters in baseball, and Drew Rasmussen and Shane McClanahan. And Jeff Springs is no slouch either. Like, I mean, they have 3 legit top of the rotation starters, and they have a nasty bullpen, dude.
Yeah.
Peter Fairbanks, Jason Adam, who's one of my favorite closers. I mean, the guy throws a fucking slider that breaks like fucking 2 feet, dude. Like, how do you hit that? Yep. You know what I mean? Like, they have a nasty bullpen. So do the Mariners.
Found a way to stay in there.
Yep.
The Rays were the team that I thought were going to drop out, and hasn't happened.
And they're getting healthy now. Yep. They got Manuel Margot back. They got Wander Franco back. Those are 2 key pieces to their lineup, dude. So I mean, The Rays are huge. They're huge. I just don't trust their offense, dude. Same with the Mariners, dude. That's the thing about the Mariners is like aside from Julio Rodriguez and Ty France and Eugenio Suarez sometimes who will hit like timely home runs. I mean, that lineup sucks, dude.
Yeah. Offensively, there is no firepower.
It's a bad lineup. All right, let's break down our top 5 teams this week, and then we'll get to our best bets, and then we'll get out of here.
Yep.
What's your top 5 looking like this week? We got 3 weeks left of baseball, Ben, or 2 weeks.
18 games in most cases, so
2.5 weeks.
Yeah, 2.5, 3 weeks. So I'm gonna start with number 5. I'm gonna go St. Louis. I'm gonna put them over the Yankees. Both decent series. You had both teams at 6-4 in their last 10. St. Louis was 4-3 this week. Yanks were 3-2. It's St. Louis is trending the right way, and you've got the Yankees trending the wrong way. So I'm going to go that way there. Number 4, I'm going to go the New York Mets, 6-4 in their last 10, 4-3 this week. You get swept by the Cubs, but then you sweep the Pirates. It's just who knows with this team. Number 3, I'm going to go the Atlanta Braves. Mets and Braves could have flip-flopped. Both were 6-4 in the last 10, 4-2 this week for the Braves. Atlanta is 7-8 against the Mets this year, but I have more faith in the Braves to pull this off. So it's just one game. I think the series from the 30th to the 2nd is going to be, it's going to tell who wins this division. So I'm pulling for Atlanta here. Number 2, I'm going to go Houston, 8-2 of the last 10, 7.5 game, lead in the AL, 4th in offense, 1st in pitching. They've got a tough schedule to end the season, but I think that's good for Houston because it keeps them kind of at the top of their game. And then number 1 overall, Dodgers. Just 9-game lead over the NL, 5-1 this week. Best offensive team in baseball, 2nd best pitching team in baseball. They do have to go 16-2 to win the record. I don't think that happens, no chance.
No chance.
There's always a shot.
No chance it happens. I was gonna ask it, but then I realized there's really not a good chance of them doing it. Yeah. The Braves and Mets, the NL East is comedy at this point because neither of these teams want to win this fucking division, dude. Yeah. The Cubs sweep the fucking Mets, and the Braves don't even take advantage of it. Yeah. They struggle themselves against the Giants. So this is this division at this point is absolutely comical in my opinion. Mm-hmm. All right, my top 5 teams of the week. We're going Cardinals, number 5, 87-61 on the year. They've been kind of up and down too. They've struggled against the Reds very recently, so I'll put them at number 5. Number 4, I'm going to Atlanta only because, like I said, dude, they had a great opportunity to take control of this division and they just let it slip right through their hands. Kyle Wright, Spencer Stride, all on the mound, and they only win one of those games. I mean, just nasty stuff in that Braves-Giants series. Number 3, I'm going with the Mets. I don't love this lineup, dude. I've talked about it over and over again this year. I do think they have major question marks going from starting rotation to Edwin Diaz. And outside of DeGrom and Scherzer, I don't love any of those starters. I think, Bassett might arguably be the 3rd best one. But I'm not sure how good that really is. So I have question marks. I'm going to put them number 3 right now. Number 2, I got the Houston Astros. I definitely think this is the 2nd best team in baseball right now. And number 1, Los Angeles Dodgers. The record speaks for itself. They're always a great regular season team, man. They got to do it in the postseason, though. So we'll see how that goes. I wouldn't bet them to win the World Series, dude. I would not do it right now.
Let's go, y'all.
All right, Ben, let's get some best bets for tomorrow. We got 2 football games. We got a handful of baseball games. So what's your 2 best bets for tomorrow?
I'm only going to go with one this week. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Guardians. We're going to go first 5 minus a half a run for the Cleveland Guardians. They've been on a tear for the second half of the year, and I'm not too sure what Minnesota offense is really going to come out. You've got Sonny Gray going up against Cal Quantrill. Quantrill is he's a great young pitcher, and I think there's a good. For going 164 and still being strong at this point of the year, I think that's a great sign for him. Sonny Gray did have his great start against Kansas City, going 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned, but it's against the Kansas City offense, and Cleveland's offense, even in this month of September, batting 260. What is it? 268 in the month of September, has really, been on point in those 17 games. So we're gonna go -0.5 a run. I do like them full game here, but we'll start with the first 5 at -0.5 a run.
Nice. I got 2 best bets. First one, I'm gonna go Eagles money line about -135. As I said before, I think this is gonna be a 1-possession game, so I'm gonna take the home team here. And then my second best bet, I'm gonna go Baltimore Detroit Tigers under 8 runs. Baltimore has been below league average against left-handed pitchers at home in the last 30 days, 91 WRC plus. And then Tyler Wells is making his 3rd start since coming off the IL for the Baltimore Orioles. He's really been their best starter all year. He struggled in his first start against Toronto, but Toronto's been hot. They hit righties well. So I expect this to be a low-scoring game. I'd take it at 8. I think it's going to get pushed up to 8.5. So honestly, I would take it at 8.5. Just wait for it. But I like it at under 8. So I'm going to take that. Baltimore Orioles Tigers under 8 runs. There
we go. All right, it is time to come back to our beers. We're going to give both of our beers a out of 5 ranking for the show. So Jordan, talk to me about yours.
So my first one, which was the Berliner Weiss, that one was really good. It was very light. It was very soury, which is like how I like my sours. I'm going to give it a 4.25 out of 5. I would definitely drink it again. I would buy it again. I like that beer. I thought that one was really good. And then the second one, this Treat IPA. I'm gonna be honest, I'm sipping it a lot slower, but it is good. It's just a lot stronger. You know what I mean? So it's getting late here, so I'm taking my time on it. But it's a good beer, man. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I would drink it again. I would buy it again. The brewery always comes clutch.
Here we go. All right, so my first one was the Saturday Night Zebras. This was the West Coast IPA coming in at 7.2%, and this was from Paperback Brewing out of Glendale. This was a pretty good beer. It was a little heavy on the alcohol. Definitely feeling it, as a 7.2 coming in. I'm definitely surprised to say that I'm feeling a beer when it's a 7.2%er, but it was definitely a little bit strong on the alcohol side. On the taste, the mouthfeel, the aroma, it was right up there at the top of the West Coast IPAs that I've had. So to balance this out, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It was a great beer. It was a beer that I'd come back to. It was a beer that I'd recommend to other people. Don't think it hits that top echelon of best West Coast IPAs that I've had, but it is definitely a good one that is for the can art. It's definitely a buy again.
There we go.
So let's go, y'all. This pumpkin pie treat, and this was from McAllister, Oklahoma, from Prairie Artisan Ales. This is a beer I think you would like, Jordan. It's very tart. It's not overly tart, but it definitely has that pucker to it. I'm a little disappointed in these pumpkin pie spices. When drinking it, I don't think of a pumpkin pie at all. It definitely kind of has those fall vibes. But if I'm buying a pumpkin pie treat beer, I want it to taste like pumpkin pie. And I did not get that. No, didn't get that at all. It's not bad. It's drinkable at 5.5. It's one that you can, easily go through on a hot day. I'm going to give it a 3.75. No, I'm going to give it a 3.5. It's drinkable. I wouldn't go out of my way to get it. But it's one of those that you can say, yeah, I've had a pumpkin pie beer. So definitely not a pour out. It was just something that you don't really write home about. So good stuff. I'll finish it. That's for sure. So
they were re-showing the fucking fight between the Saints and the Bucks, dude. That shit was comedy, dude.
Yep. Crazy.
Absolutely.
Grown ass man.
Hey, dude, that's what competition does, man.
Yep. Absolutely.
Brings out the best in everybody.
You got it. All right, thank you everybody for checking out the podcast. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure to like it. We need to get that website up, so we need to get our followers going on YouTube there. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Taproom Sports Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Taproom Sports Podcast. You can follow Jordan's, which is at Jordan Rules. At Jordan Rules TSP.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again for listening. Make sure to go to Tavour.com, download the Tavour app, use promo code Taproom when signing up to get $10 off your first purchase of $25 and more. Jordan and Irvin are back tomorrow. I'll be back on Tuesday, and then we close out the week with college football on Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for listening. We're out of here.